Thank you. Mr. Alvarez, do you see People's 21?
Yes, I do.
And from this vantage point then, is this the view from the foyer area looking into what the diagram reflected as bedroom number 2 where Michael Jackson was located?
That is correct.
Okay. And People's 22, is this essentially the same view, but basically with the photographer having taken now steps into the actual bedroom?
That is correct.
Okay. And is that the path you took as reflected in People's 21 and 22, that you went into the foyer and immediately turned into the bedroom?
Yes, sir.
And what transpired, or what happened when you first walked into the room?
When I walked into the room and I turned towards my right, I observed Mr. Conrad Murray giving chest compressions to Mr. Jackson.
Okay. So he had proceeded into the room in front of you.
Yes.
And evidently had gone over to where Michael Jackson was located.
Correct.
And was giving compressions.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Where was Mr. Jackson at this time?
He was in the bed, sir.
As reflected in People's 22, was he on a particular side of the bed?
He was further to the furthest part of the bed.
Okay, so as you look at the bed in People's 22, he was on this far side of the bed?
Correct.
Okay. And was he laying his head in the pillow headboard area and his feet at the feet of the bed?
That is correct.
Okay. Describe for us what you personally observed during this time in the bedroom of Michael Jackson's condition.
I remember seeing him, and he was laying on his back. His head was...
I'm sorry, could we get the lights again, Your Honor? I apologize, but...
One moment, please.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So he was laying on the bed, which you described as the far side of the bed.
Correct. He was laying on his back with his hands extended out. And
You've indicated extended out to his side with the palms up?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And I observed that his eyes were slightly open or open, and his mouth was open.
Okay. And was he looking straight up at the ceiling? Was he looking in one particular direction or the other?
His face was slightly towards the left.
Okay, and you say the left, that would be toward the foyer area, essentially.
Correct.
Okay. Now, as you came in and saw Conrad Murray giving compressions, or what you described as compressions, was he using one hand or two hands?
He was using one hand, sir.
Can you describe for the jury exactly what you saw with that one hand on the bed?
He had his hand with his palm open, and he was giving chest compressions in this manner.
Okay. And you've indicated you used your left hand. Is it your recollection it was Conrad Murray's left hand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you've indicated for the record while Michael was on the bed, Conrad Murray used his left hand and pushed down. At some point in time, did Conrad Murray indicate that he needed to get him to a hospital, or words to that effect?
Yes, sir.
When was that?
When I came into the room, he said, "Alberto, hurry! We have to get him to a hospital. We have to get an ambulance."
Okay. And after he said that, did Paris and Prince enter the room?
Yes. When he said that, I was walking towards the bed, and I was reaching for my phone in my pocket, And as I was doing that, Prince and Paris came behind me.
Okay. And did they actually enter the room as reflected in People's 22, or were they still in the foyer area, or where were they exactly, if you recall?
What I recall is that I was closer, coming into that area, and they were right behind me. Paris screamed out, "Daddy."
When you heard Paris scream out, "Daddy," was she crying?
Yes, sir.
And was Michael laying on the bed, palms up, looking slightly to the left at that time?
Yes, he was.
Would he have been actually looking slightly toward Paris's location?
Yes, sir.
Did you, at that time, escort the children out or indicate to them to go out of the room?
Yes, sir. Dr. Conrad Murray said, "Hurry! Don't let them see their dad like this. Don't let them see their dad like this." And I proceeded to turn around to the children and kids, don't worry. We'll take care of it. Everything is going to be okay. And so I walked them out towards the landing area, towards the front door of the suite.
And at that point, did you ask Conrad Murray what had happened?
Yes, sir. When I returned back to the situation, I was approaching the room or the bed, and I asked Dr. Conrad Murray what happened, and he said he had a reaction. He had a bad reaction, and I was standing at that time at the foot of the bed.
At some point during this episode, is it fair to say this was all happening very quickly?
Yes, sir.
At some point during this time period in the room, did you notice something that struck you as unusual regarding a medical device on Michael Jackson?
Yes, sir. I recall seeing what appeared to be a plastic bag or some sort of medical device like that, and it was on his penis.
Okay. And this plastic device on his penis, was tubing attached to that?
Yes, sir.
And did that tubing go to a urine receptacle or urine bag?
There was a bag on it. Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you know what a condom catheter is?
I do now, sir.
You do now? Is that what you said?
Yes, sir.
Okay. A medical device used so someone can essentially urinate into a bag?
Correct.
Without moving from the location?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you know what a condom catheter was at that time?
No, sir.
At any time, eventually you called 911 per Conrad Murray's instructions, correct?
Correct.
Okay. At any time prior to calling 911, did you see an IV stand?
I sure did.
Okay. And where was that when you first saw it, if you can remember?
Can I use the pointer?
Please.
It was in this general area, sir, right on the far side of the bed.
Okay, in People's 22, then you've indicated the far side of the bed in the general area between the bed and the chairs and nightstand. Is that accurate?
That is accurate.
Okay. Showing you People's 23 for identification. Does this People's 23 reflect the general area where you saw the IV stand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And where was it as it's reflected in People's 23?
It was in this direction, sir, right around here.
Okay. In the lower portion of People's 23 near the chair?
Correct.
Okay. And do you see to the side of that what appears to be an oxygen tank?
Correct.
Okay. Did you observe any heart monitor or any type of equipment, monitoring equipment in that room?
No, sir.
Okay. Did you ever see a Do you know what a blood pressure cuff is?
No, sir.
Okay. Do you see anything attached to Michael's arm, like a black band, that would be used to monitor someone's blood pressure?
Oh, no, sir, I did not.
Okay. And you didn't see any type of heart monitor, any type of that equipment anywhere?
No, sir.
Any type?
Double negative?
I'm sorry. You did not. Is it true you did not see any type of heart monitor?
That is correct.
Okay. No equipment with lights on it or any type of ventilation equipment?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay. You started to say the only.
The only thing I do recall seeing was oxygen tubing attached to Mr. Jackson.
Okay. And you when you said that, you said attached to Mr. Jackson. I think you put your fingers to your nose.
Correct.
Okay. So there was some type of tubing. Was that like clear plastic tubing?
Correct.
Okay. Connected to Michael Jackson's nose.
Yes, sir.
Indicating the nasal area.
That is correct, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
No, sir. All I saw was the tubing connected.
Okay. You're not saying it wasn't there. You don't recall seeing it.
I don't recall seeing it, sir.
Okay. And do you know what an ambu bag is?
No, sir.
Okay. Do you see this device on the floor of People's 23?
Oh, yes, sir.
Did you see that at that time, or at least did you notice it at that time?
I recall seeing it while, after everything was happening. I do recall seeing the bag.
Okay. Was that later on, or?
I'm not quite sure, but I do remember seeing the
Okay.
The bag.
Now, these observations you've described, as far as what was in the room around Michael Jackson, these are taking place throughout the episode simultaneously to what's happening?
Correct, sir.
Okay. So going back to what was physically what happened, so you kind of indicated the children to leave the room. Is that accurate?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Conrad Murray then, as you're coming back to approach him, tells you Michael had a bad reaction.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did he then instruct you to take some vials or do something with some vials?
Yes, while I was standing at the foot of the bed, he reached over and grabbed a handful of vials, and then he reached out to me and said, "Here, put these in a bag."
Where was Conrad Murray when he did that?
He was kneeling down here in this area here.
Okay. And you've indicated the area to the side of what we've described as the far side of the bed, in front of the nightstand, and you said he was kneeling down?
Correct. Like with one knee, I believe his left knee, and then he had his other leg, like
Okay.
kind of.
And he,
Whoa. He had his other leg.
Well, he didn't have his knee on the floor.
neither knee was on the floor?
The left knee was on the floor.
Okay, and the other knee was not?
Correct.
Okay. And from where did he pick up these vials that he was
He
handing
picked
to you?
them up from this nightstand here.
Okay, and just to be clear, in People's 23, there's this, there's a wood nightstand directly adjacent to the bed, correct?
Correct.
And then there's some other type of table to the left side of that nightstand, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So the location from which Conrad Murray grabbed the vials was the wood nightstand directly next to the bed.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And did you, when he I'm sorry, what were the exact words he said when he had these vials in his hand and he was reaching them out to you?
He said, "Put these in a bag."
Okay. Did you grab it?
I looked towards my right, and there was a plastic bag sitting on top of a chair.
Okay.
And so I proceeded to get the bag, and I opened it, and he placed the vials in the bag.
Okay, so you held the bag open, and he, just dropped the vials in there?
Yes, sir. He reached into the bag and dropped the vials.
Okay. And did you then put that bag somewhere?
Yes, he proceeded to instruct me. He said, "Now place that bag in a brown bag." And there was a brown bag that was on the side of a chair on the floor.
Okay. Did he then ask you or tell you to grab another item?
Yes, he did.
What did he tell you?
He pointed towards the IV stand.
Okay, and the IV stand again was in this general area right there in People's 23 near this chair?
Correct.
Okay, what did he tell you to do?
He pointed to a bag, that bag, and put that in the blue bag.
And when you say he pointed to a bag, where was this bag and what did it look like?
It was on the IV stand, and if I'm looking if I'm looking at the IV stand, the bag was on the right side of the IV stand.
Was it hanging from the IV stand?
Yes, sir, it was.
Okay. Did you take it off the IV stand?
I did.
And what did you do with it?
When I took it off, like I said, he instructed me to put it in a blue bag, and so I grabbed the bag, and I went and I put it in the blue bag, sir.
Okay. And was that all in this general area you've identified in People's 23 to the side of the bed?
Yes, sir. The chair was more further down to the foot area of the bed.
Okay. Looking at People's 22, you see the bed, correct?
Correct.
The wood nightstand to the side of the bed?
Yes, sir.
The other table you identified in the white chair?
Yes.
Okay, and the oxygen tank,
Okay.
right?
Yes.
And then you indicated the IV stand was in this general area near the white chair. Is that accurate?
Correct.
Okay. And you said there was another chair more toward the foot of the bed. Was that this, what appears in this picture to be kind of this reddish chair?
I believe it was this chair, sir. This one looks more familiar.
Okay.
To be there.
Is that where it was located?
No, it was closer to the bed, sir. It was right around this area, sir.
Okay. And show me again where it was when you retrieved the bag from it.
Well, the chair was in this general area here, sir. Like
Okay.
right in front of where this red chair is at.
Okay, in front of the
Facing
red
the bed.
chair. I'm sorry. In front of the red floor or on the rug?
I don't recall if it was on.
Okay. But it was in this general area at the foot of the bed, generally in front of this red chair.
Correct.
Okay.
I think we need to identify the particular chair at issue, which is in a different location. This is a smaller wooden chair that's in the far left-hand portion of the photograph.
That is correct, sir.
And in the photograph, People's 22, as you look at People's 22, it would be this chair directly to the left of the television monitor on this table. Is that accurate?
Correct.
Okay. And were you able to just take a step or so and reach over and grab that bag?
I'm sorry. What do you mean, grab the bag?
You said you grabbed a bag from the wood chair, right?
No, sir. Oh, yes, sir. The bag that I grabbed where he placed the vials.
Yes.
That was if I'm looking at the bed, the bag was to my right. So it was on the far on this side, over here, down here. The wooden chair or the chair was on this side here.
Oh, okay. Let me zoom out. So the wooden chair, you indicated it was in kind of at the foot of the bed, in front of the red chair that we've identified, and on this photograph.
If I may clarify, sir,
Sure.
I think I'm a little confused. We're talking about when he placed when I grabbed the bag and he placed the vials.
Yes.
Okay, that chair was on this side, down
Okay.
here.
Okay.
Okay, and that's when I turned to my right and I saw the chair, and the plastic bag was sitting on top of that.
Okay. So, because now I'm confused. You were on the far side of the bed over here.
Correct.
Right? Okay. So
Just a moment. We need to clarify these terms, far side and down here, etc. Go ahead.
well, you previously said the far side of the bed is the vantage point from looking at the foyer. If the vantage point is from looking into the room from the foyer, you've identified the far side of the bed as being near this wooden nightstand. Is that accurate?
Yes, sir.
And if you're looking,
Wait a minute. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. I was in this general area when I was standing, and he was giving me the instructions, sir.
okay, so for the record, you were at the foot of the bed